420 is always right, people.
The sheet. I guess they have the sheet.
You guys are ready. Go ahead and start the next round. Good luck, high scoring.
Here's your mic, Nick. Start talking. So I try to fix the scoreboard.
Good luck, good luck.
1920.
Yeah, I should know where to look.
I mean, you can look there.
Yeah, well,
My
I don't know if you're going to have screens up or not. World record holder Colton Gu firing first in this quarterfinal match. For those of you trying to wrap your heads around the world record that Colton shot yesterday, for those of you that know about that, just think of Colton shooting a 521 set 3 times. For those of you that bowl your 3-game leagues and you know what you normally shoot at league, you know 521 is pretty darn good. Colton did that 3 times yesterday.
I'm gonna have
Oh no. That's not our fault though. Rick Riley, the leadoff bowler, going against Colton. We'll have scoreboard operational in a second. Second hole bowlers are going to be Xander Beto and Tracy Wheatley. It's a 95 pin spread. Okay. First frame for Xander in this quarterfinal. We are down to 8 teams. Xander leaves an IHOP, 3-9-10. Okay. I believe the record for Team Gu yesterday was 7.5 and 1.5. And when you have Colton averaging in the 170s for the entire day, that's a very understandable record for a team to have.
What's the team on the bottom? Team
Wheatley.
We're going to go with Team Wheatley. That is not spelled right. There is a H somewhere in there.
WH. Yep, there we go. Xander's going to start out with a 10. And here's first frame at 9.
Want the name first.
Yeah, Rick. Tracy. And then Brian with a Y.
Who is third on Colton?
Evan Stevens.
Oh, Evan. Okay.
I've missed Evan. I especially missed him on Thursday night at Mount Airy Lanes when he was not in attendance. His substitute did quite well against yours truly.
I think it's 79.
JT Zimmerman. I had 320 the first 2. I lost them both.
28 and 79.
Evan will start with an open frame. We'll have our scoreboard up here in a second. We're finished counting our money, getting the stream set up, and some of us are eating breakfast too, for being completely honest.
Well, you should have woke up before 11.
No. There's Nick o'clock somewhere.
Nick o'clock somewhere.
I'd like to thank all those on 895 for getting out of the way.
All right, scoreboard is locked and loaded.
There we go. Big spread of handicap this game is 51 pins spread to Team Wheatley. How do we think replay is going to work?
It's probably aimed too high. Want to find out?
I do. We may be able to zoom a little bit, right?
Now we can. It's on and didn't do anything.
Good. That sounds about right. That's a deuce.
Okay, there we go. Oh, hey, that's good.
That actually looks perfect.
I was worried we were aiming too high. All right, I'm good.
Great. So, talking to Rick off the air, Rick tends to have a hard time adjusting to the break at this house, and I talked to him about strategy, about ball choice and such, but of course Dave and I are familiar with the break here. We just ran into it. That the ball that was in the pocket yesterday was on the front of the head pin today. But Rick will take a 9 box there. Colton 9 as well. No marks yet for either team.
Want to answer that?
What about this here?
Yep. I believe it's knockout.
Yeah, team
Phillips.
Jufreda.
Phillips.
Jufreda. I think that's how we say it. They did lose in the first round. Tracy on the 2 pin her first ball.
Your monthly Sunday special, Tracy. We won 2 in a row at one point.
Yeah, it was back-to-back events on Duck Pins Rowley. That was the, what was it? POA Star?
No, I think it was the Sunday series at Greenmount and the Southwest Sunday.
Ah, yeah. Tracy Wheatley. Back-to-back Sunday tournament series wins on Duck Pins Forever. And I believe the day Tracy Wheatley won was the day that Duck Pins Forever turned into a food podcast. They're talking to like Mike.
We had one at Greenmount that was
we were talking
good.
to Mike Schaefer about eggnog and sandwiches.
Oh, nice pen.
Of course, you can understand why I would remember such a beautiful broadcast.
Thank you.
It was quite the entertaining day. I had that. I had to put the scores out at Mount Airy for a match. Shout out whatever 2 teams those were. Overall, I did an okay job.
They're both Walkersville teams. They don't do math very well. So.
I just needed them to read.
I mean,
Nope. Not going there. So all open frames to the start. The first 2, well, for Team Wheatley, 2 opens. 2 frames of opens. Evan collects 10 there. Brian collects 8. So Team Goose starting to chip away a little bit. The score is 134 to 85. So Wheatley up 49 pins, and they are being spotted 51. So 2 pins scratch lead for Team Goo. They do have a hit. They're at this rate pulling back 1 pin per frame, which won't work. They're going to need to pull back more than that and faster. As Rick bounces it off the side for 7. And your new 9-game world record holder, Colton Goo, is off the head pin again. I will say, I'm going to try to look up the house real quick. It's January 14th, 1989, Steve Ivarone at 1535 at Town Hall Lanes in Rhode Island. You can call that now 1563 for Colton Goo on June 28th, 2025, Walkersville Lake. We also broke our house record for 6 games last week. 1031. Yeah. I believe that's higher than, I did a synthetic Pop Witten record from Mount Airy. I think ours is 1012, 1025. Yeah. So, Rick did scoop in that 3-penner to get.
No,
No?
that was only 10. I thought it was a scar.
Pardon, 10.
They celebrated like it was a scar.
You sold me on it, Dave.
I sold myself on it, so played myself.
A little bit of housekeeping. Alright. Gonna get ready to resume the 3rd frame here. So no marks yet for Team Wheatley, and it's gonna be the first spare fill of the match for Xander right here. Nice ball for Tracy, leaves a solid 9. Here's the fill for Xander on the front. Fill 6, 2, 3, 6, 10.
I feel like that breaks a Parkville special.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of that is punching the middle. You're punching the middle, but because if your ball's coming in with angle because of the high friction surface here, you're gonna have a continuation.
Yeah, you're gonna shoot off.
Tracy will collect 10. Tracy, a very
Oh, nice safety pitch.
Xander stealing 10 there. Tracy, a very simple style. Not fast, it's not aggressive, it's not a lot of break, but it's just straight up the boards. Oh, it is.
Why wouldn't it be
No,
on?
it's just decorating.
It's just decorating. We just put it there for show.
And it's just got a couple lights on top of it. Pretty done. All right, well, now Team Wheatley is on the board. Brian has thrown a strike in the bottom of the third. I don't know, Dave.
I can't. I missed that strike because of that.
It's okay. Evan off the side for 6 on his first ball, leaves the 1-2-7-8. Oh. Chris. Lane 19, they need the 7 added. That's on TV and we missed it. I'm sorry. I didn't even notice that it fell over. It fell over, right? Evan's ball didn't bounce out of the gutter, right? Okay, I'm just making sure I wasn't watching his second ball. I didn't want to make sure I didn't miss that pass.
I mean, we're very distracted right now. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if the camera's on. I'm trying to figure out if the camera's on.
The camera is on.
Camera is
there
on.
was a point in time yesterday that it was not on.
It's all weird stuff yesterday.
Hope you enjoyed our 3-part installment of Shift 1 at Mount Airy.
It was being weird.
I saw that YouTube upload. I'm like, what the heck? All right, washout. Not a washout. Multi-pinner. Evan picks the front off. And it is a 1-to-1 mark score through 3 frames. This is bad news for Team Goop. This is way better news for Team Wheatley as they actually outhold the wood in that frame. They're now up 164 to 118. That is a 46-pin lead. They're up ahead.
I should make a subtotal. I'd have to split this back up again to do it though. Just subtotal there.
Yeah. See ya.
Goodbye.
If you're wondering how Colton averaged over 170 yesterday, it was a lot of these. I wasn't there to see it, but I can imagine to average 171, you have to throw a lot of those.
That's a neat one, Hoover.
Oh. So the leadoff bowler, Rick Rowley, you can see on your screen right now, 19. He is going to be bowling Evan Stevens, Thursday Singles League this week at Pooh Palace, down Airy Lane. And Xander, boom, backs his brother up, packs the pocket. This is what you're kind of expecting them and kind of what they have to have. See the picture-in-picture replay as Xander trips that 4-pitch from behind. So, good start to the 4th here for Team Goop. See if Evan Stevens can round it out for the star frame. That's the word we'll use today, star frame. Right, Dave? Star frame.
That's not what we call it in Mount Airy.
Oh, do I get a pitcher? Do I have to pay extra for a pitcher, Steve? I can just see an owner's meeting at Parkville Lanes and Steve's like, I have to have pitchers. I don't care what they cost. Steve with his pitcher of fresh brewed unsweet tea.
Help that ball.
With maybe sugar added to taste. Tracy in the 4th. Five off the side. Tracy, person that in the tournament scene does start to get around quite a bit. He's bowling, he bowls 10-pin as well. She bowls a 10-pin league at Greenmount. She bowls, I think, a duck-pin league at Greenmount, and then duck-pin league at Mount Airy, and she does a couple of tournaments throughout the year.
I know she does most of their monthlies.
The first time I saw her was I think it was a Pop Whitney at Greenmount, and I remember it was a very classic looking bowling jersey. Yeah. That's it. Very simple game. Gets up there, moderate slide, flips it out there. Just takes the 9 box for 38 in the 4th. Evan Stevens looking for the star frame for Team Can I get a replay of that?
I'm gonna replay that. That was good.
Let's take a look at the left side of the screen as we get the picture-in-picture replay. That thing stood up in the gutter and almost fell on the side. Belt work subpar by Sherman number 20 there.
Yep.
But it did its best. Evan will slide by the 7-pin. We do not have a star frame. Brian can strike here for even hits. Ow! Light splasher leaves the 9-10.
That's where the pin's sitting between them.
No kidding. Even takes 10, has not marked yet in the match. He's at 36 in the 4th frame. Before, you know, before counts, Team Goo is actually under their box in the 4th. Before the counts.
Well, that's why you get counts.
Yeah, but in the 4th, that is suboptimal, especially when you're spotting 51 pins. Your score through 4 is a 50-pin lead for Team Wheatley, which means Team Goo is ahead by 1 pin scratch. They are up 2 hits. They are both strikes, and they are being filled by Colton Goo and Xander Meadows. Plenty of opportunity for doubles or marks on the strikes as Rick goes tight in the pocket for the 3-pin. Let's see if Colton can throw the double. Off the side for the bread line.
I'm gonna zoom it in.
Yeah, I like that. I'm squinting back here, David. Give me the zoom. As that ball zooms left on Rick. Again, I told you, Rick, be very honest with himself that he has trouble keeping the ball in front of him here, and he will also be honest with you that he has struggled to make the necessary adjustment. That ball just dives left on him. And part of that, unfortunately, is just due to his ball speed. He doesn't have, he's what the 10-pin world would call rev dominant. He rotates, he's trying to keep the ball, he rotates the ball well, he just doesn't have a lot of speed, so it really wants to run on him. And I've always said about the high friction surfaces when we broadcasted it in a place like Glen Burnie as well, or
Pinland.
Yeah, Pinland, or even sometimes Suitland, that like there's nothing wrong with a high friction surface as long as you know where your ball's going to end up and as long as you can repeat it, because friction's what gives the ball the drive. You don't want the ball to slide into the pins more. Most often you want it to be able to roll and hit.
Come on, that works a lot.
Yeah, well, so I say that David bowls league at Mount Airy, and he wishes I did the lanes with a hose. He wants his ball to go 60 feet. He wants to be able to have a sticker on it and have that sticker look back at him by the time it hits the head pin. Xander at the inverted 2-pinner did not get it to go. Tracy back turn on the 5. See if he pretends the 48 score through the 5th. What? So Steve is going to run a 10-foot oil pattern starting at the pins. No.
That sounds terrible, actually.
That's like, you know, when they have greenskeeper revenge in golf. Yeah. 10 feet of oil before the pins, take the rubber off the walls, put fishing weights in the bottoms, and you would die. Yeah, I mean, it's also could be like I can tell you, just at least the why behind the what at Food Palace, that it helps you avoid the ball marks in the laydown area. Yeah, us too. I can't oil the approach. Those of you out there looking for lane conditioning advice, don't oil the approach. Also, don't start your oil pattern at the pins. Start it at the foul line. Maybe a couple inches past. Yes. Foot. Yeah, I'll say our oil light at donor probably starts about 10 inches past foul line. As you do. Rick right in the pocket that frame. I imagine he is not happy shooting 10-minute at this bowling center. He's going to have to really kill this out of his hand. Or better yet, he should probably shooting a house ball. Yes, but he should also, yeah, no chance.
No chance.
He should actually, honest to God, he should throw a house ball at that shot. I had a kid here in the Parkville Youth Classic, one of my youth bowlers. I actually had him throw a house ball as his first ball just to control the head spin a little better. Yeah. Right. Get it over there. All right. Well, Team Goo has chipped into the handicap spread, but definitely not enough yet as Xander pushes through for the 2-2. Right now, the 9 and 10 boxes from Team Wheatley with the 8 sprinkled in have been more than enough. They haven't had a bad wood frame yet.
Maybe.
Tracy leads 10. See if she can show Rick how her ball roll will be a little better for making that. She is left-handed.
Bonnie, Ken, good to see you two in chat.
Yeah, that's a little distraction in front of us, but Matt,
Did we say vintage because of the mustache?
no, just like early days of duck pins forever. Matt threw a strike so good that the sweep had to operate for no reason. I do recall throwing a ball like that on TV last Sunday here and then falling apart. Oh, so gorgeous. Probably the best ball I've thrown on the TV. Tracy with a 9 box. Evan Stevens off the side. He's left an 8-pin back there. Right? Did he? Yeah, he did. It looked like it had a sleeper back there. Ow. What is his average, Steve? Oh, yeah. And where does he bowl out of? Thanks.
Nah, I don't think bowl out. He probably bowls out of Hagerstown. Probably.
That makes sense. Okay. Evan, no conversion. We'll take a 9 box. Evan with 9, Brian with 10. Your score is 253 to 218. That is a 35-pin lead for Team Goo. Hits are even. Team Goo has to pull back 35 pins in 12 frames.
Why can we hold this?
No kidding. Well, because we were doing this too. To be completely honest, we were pretty much this. Colton Goo with only 63 in the 6th.
That's better.
Absolutely nails. I can't match, but someone else would be happy to.
Rick's gonna throw the ball.
Rick chucks it right, comes back left, and leaves a 3-6. Fair break.
Good ball, Rick.
Colton at the 7 pin. That is out of the gutter, will not count. Elect to shoot the spot. They're going to shoot the rack, Scott.
We got better things to do. Just shoot the rack.
Surface is our game, says Scott Wilker, board member. Rick actually missed right of target, and I did not know that was possible for him to do here. Colton is going to make the call. We will wait for them to put the number on the telescore.
Yeah, you tell me. I thought he had it.
I think he had it on the right side. Yeah, yeah.
I thought he had it.
You call it at home. Shooting spot. Yeah. I think that was a very productive change recently. And And the thing is, like, they changed that in, let me say it was 2022 or whatever, they changed that rule a couple years ago. But if we were going 20 years back and you asked in 2002, the court of public opinion on that might have been different. But, you know, the rules ought to keep up with court of public opinion and the modern state of the game, so. Well, so shooting, you're allowed to shoot the spot, but if people, yeah. Well, you can't shoot it out of the rack for a spare. You can't spot it for a spare either.
And you leave the head pin for a spare and hit the wrong button. Why can't you shoot the rack for that on the second button?
So valid question. The problem is a can of worms, because then, like,
which pins can't you do?
What pins can't you do? And I would say it almost.
I wouldn't want to make a single rule for that one chance that someone backdoors just the head pin.
Well,
yeah. Because you can hit the. You can hit.
Thank you, bro.
So this is where the automatic cycle crowd chips in and says, this is why we have this. Which, I mean, valid point.
That.
If yes, and Rick Riley with the strike.
That's starting to heat up on the bottom there.
Yeah, no kidding. Holton just brought in the 1-8. I believe that was spare. I think that was. Yes, it was. So spare for Colton Goo. After the leadoff bowlers, it is 291, 258, 33 pin lead for Team Wheatley, and Team Wheatley is up a hit.
I will say the best thing that Automatic Deadwood did bring is that new rule for when a pin falls.
Yeah.
It's not now longer when you press the button, it has to touch something.
Tracy, 1-5 clean, first ball after the strike. Xander, solid 5 on the fill.
and strap those gutters.
Yeah. What's up? Yeah, I couldn't. Tracy does take a 6-on-7 count, an even 80 in the 8th as Holton and Xander both go spare in the 8th. So good frame for Team Goose so far. They unfortunately are starting to run out of frames, if I'm being honest. Time to go is now as Evan leaves 1-2-7. Brian working on a spare here at 73 plus through 7.
Hello? 2 more?
So we were talking about as he pushes through. Looks like there's going to be no extra action here. And now things are dead. 6 count for Brian. So we're talking how Rick Riley is a rev dominant bowler. Brian is Brian's a polar opposite. Brian is a speed dominant bowler. Evan collects 10. Brian throws the ball very hard. Does not rev it a lot. It's
very flat out of his hand.
It's very flat. It looks like a knuckleball coming out of his hand. I would say Bobby Stockman would lightheartedly not approve. Bobby Stockman loves rotation. Yeah. I mean, classic ball for the spare. You want to control the break. But
see a lot of Canadians when they come down here, they'll throw classic second balls.
Yeah, it's a soft roll duo. All right, we are finished the 8th frame. 318 to 287. Team Wheatley up 31 pins. They are down 1 hit, but Rick Riley can double here. Off the side for 7. Colton,
I don't know. We were at Mount Airy. That could have gone, man.
Colton's got to fill this frame here.
Ball.
Rock solid 5. Let's see if it gets off the lip. It is on the.
It's too far.
It is on. Well, it's on the lane right now. If that gets off the lip, and
That's like a mile forward.
you sure about that?
Yeah. I physically look.
Okay. Thanks, Dave.
It's at least 3 feet in front.
Time-honored tradition. If we what? Yeah.
No, we got enough moonshine at Walkerville.
We'll serve it. We'll serve it off center. Give people.
And liquor board. I didn't say that.
Yep. Nope.
Okay, I think he actually.
Oh, y'all. I'm sure it's got a lot of butter in it. Spare fill for Xander. Off the side. Back takes 8. Leaves the 1-3. Sure. Sign me up.
All right, Team Q making a run here.
Xander gets 2 pinner. 2 hits so far in the 9th. They're gonna need Evan to chip in. I don't know if this comeback is gonna complete without Evan chipping in. As Tracy takes the 7 pinner. Bit of a head shaker there.
We'll give it the replay.
Thank you.
Again, very simple game. Tracy left-handed just kind of flips that ball out onto the middle of the lane, straight up the boards. Gets the spare. Here's Evan in the 9th. In the pocket. 5 and 10 down. Bottom of the 9th, Evan Stevens breaks up the no-hitter with 2 outs. It is a star frame in the 9th for Team Goo. We've got a 10th frame finish coming at you.
Yeah, it's almost about even right now.
Just got an even game. Brian, a little defensive bowling, maybe. One more? Trips the 8, leaves a single 7. If Brian gets a spare here, we're looking at 355 to 334. Would be a 21-pin lead for Wheatley. They would be down 1 hit.
There was not much going on in this game through 6, but it heat up.
Nope.
Fast.
This is an important spare here. And Slide by Team Blue is going to have a 2-hit lead down 20 or 21 pins. You can call that a tie game. It is. It is going to be 355 and 1 hit to 334 and 3 hits. 21-pin lead for Team Wheatley. They are down 3 hits to 1. So Team Goo is still going to need to outmark Team Wheatley in the 10th. They need good counts. Colton looking for a full count here in the top of the 10th.
That's not a mic.
So a reminder that any of the teams that fail to get through this round receive 250 at bowler. The winners are guaranteed at least 400 a bowler.
Strike for Rick Riley in the 10th. He's hit lane 19 the last 2 times.
Anything for the hundo?
Gets to triple digits. Colton at the 610. He counts 8 on his spare in the 9th. Wants to have it, and he's got it. Colton will be 120 and the ball. Colton's lowest game yesterday at Wilkersville, 131. Gets a max of 130 here. By the way, if you take, not that you're allowed to do this, but if you take Colton's low game out, the other 8 games break the 8-game record. All right, here is the second ball of the 10th for Rick Riley, trying to drop it in there again for the double. He's got a chance. Solid 5. Colton for a potential 130. And there it is, 130.
Goodbye,
Colton.
goodbye,
Marks out.
15 pins.
Game of the weekend.
Very nice. Rick Riley finishes with 108. Colton with 130. It is a 12-pin lead for Team Wheatley. They are down 1 hit. So Team Goose still needs to park. Here is the spare fill for Xander in the 10th. Colton imploring that ball to get up, doesn't quite. It's a 5-7 for Xander. Tracy also working on a spare fill here. She made a 7-pinner in the 9th. Only two. Yikes. Xander is licensed to go aggressive here. Oh, are you kidding? Are you for real? I am Xander and I am strong. Pops the 5 out of the pit to make it. Tracy gonna shoot the 8-pinner. Almost caught the head pin there. Xander with a good count here can take the lead. Team Goo. 2. 141 for Xander there at 382. Team Wheatley is going to have a narrow lead of a minimum of 1 pin headed to the 10th. But Goo is up a hit. Tracy's wood ball is going to take all 3 pins to shoot 102. It is a 4-pin lead for Team Wheatley. Team Goo is up a hit. The one hit they have is down to Evan Stevens, the anchor bowler, who only has 83 in the 9th, but is working on a strike. Anything can happen here in this 10th round. We'll mention that if duck pin magic, if they end up tied here for some reason, we will go to a 1-frame overtime, 2-frame overtime, excuse me, tournament director, overall deal, 2-frame overtime. Evan Stevens for the double. He's got it. Nailed the 1-2 pocket. 9 last to go. Ryan off the side for a 4-pin washout.
That's gonna do it.
Pin under the sweep on 15.
Team Watson defeated the 13 seed Pool 455 to 417.
Ryan got to have this spare. He does not. And Team Goo has pulled it off, marking out in the last 2 frames. Full counts and a double by Evan Stevens, 9th and 10th. And Team Wheatley is gonna be sent packing. Brian finishes with 106, 395 for Wheatley. Team Goo already at 402. Well, that was the right spot for that. 7 more for Evan. Gonna make this look like a 120 the whole way. I'm aware. Fun fact, yesterday, Jack Farrow in the morning shift had his high game of the day in was it game 5?
No.
Game 4? Game 4. Game 4, he had his high game of the day in the 5th frame. Hit 128 in the 5th. All right, your final score, Team Goo 418, Team Wheatley 395. What an exciting comeback there. Team Goo goes 8 out of their last 9 frames with marks to win by 20.